Hello, welcome to Charlene's Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a casserole. And I haven't made a casserole in a long time, but I've been thinking about this recipe that a friend of mine gave to me years and years ago when I was working at EB, Encyclopedia Britannica Film Company. And I just got right out of high school and I got this job there, and I ended up in the credit department, and she was just the loveliest woman ever, and she gave me this recipe about this layered casserole. And I used to make it a lot, but I've expanded on it today. I was thinking about what I could do to add more veggies into everything, okay? So it's with, I've got about a pound and not even a pound, a little pound and a quarter maybe, of some ground beef, lean ground beef. And I've got this casserole dish that I smeared with some butter. I'll tell you which one though. It's that olive oil and sea salt with butter. I just love that mix. It's got the olive oil in there, the butter, and a little sea salt. So I just smeared a bit all around my little pan here. Now I'm going to get my burner going so we can get some heat up on there and brown up the ground beef. And I'm going to show you. Now I have several ingredients here today. I'm going to switch this over. One moment. Now we've got our pan heating up here, and we're going to, this is going to be layered with rice, some sliced potatoes, a little spinach. Then I'm going to brown up that meat. I'm going to add what I chopped up, some onion, it was less than a medium-sized yellow onion, 1 clove of garlic, a cup of red pepper, about a cup of celery. For the sauce, it's going to be the stewed tomatoes that you see there. Let's see, that is about, I'm going to see, I can't seem to work with this thing here. It's a 14.5 ounce can of stewed tomatoes, okay? So we're going to add a lot of greens to this thing. We'll see how this is going to work out. So we are going to add to our meat now. It's getting brown, so I'm going to add, let's see. I'm going to have a half a tablespoon of salt. Okay. So let's do that. Okay. And as that's browning up, I'm going to put our chopped garlic in there and our onion. And that was 1 medium-sized yellow onion. Okay. We'll just get that going. Like so. Now, you can see this bowl that my casserole dish. Okay, I smeared with a little butter that I told you in the beginning. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I could just see her telling me this. Charlene, just, put some rice on the bottom. All right, so I have 2/3 of a cup. I don't even know if I'm going to use all that. I'm going to show you how I just eyeball that. Let's see what we end up with. A little, all right, so, yeah, I almost used, let's see, what was that again? 2/3 of a cup. I used a little over a half a cup, and I just put it down, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay, you can see how I just layered that rice, okay? Now I'm going to layer some potatoes. Okay, so now, well, the meat's still browning up, but here's my bowl. Now I'm going to take these potatoes that I sliced them up, and I rinsed them so they, so they wouldn't get all black on me so I'm going to layer them over the rice. I'm just going to layer those potatoes over the rice. And that was 3 medium potatoes. 3 medium. Okay. I'm not gonna, it looks like I didn't use them all. Looks like about 2.5. Okay, so now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of seasoning over my potatoes and the rice. And so let's go with half a teaspoon of salt and just a tad of that, because that's going to, because as we layer, it's going to be dripping down anyway. So I don't know if you can see my little, wait, there's my bowl. Whoops. Okay. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on those potatoes, okay? I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of parsley over that, all right? And then I'm going to put a half a teaspoon, yeah, it says half a teaspoon. So it's just a little bit of basil. I love basil on my potatoes. All right. So we're layering the flavors. Now, now I'd like to season my meat a little more. I added the salt. So let's go and look at this frying pan here. There, that looks good there. All right, so now in the frying pan, I have the ground beef and 1 clove of garlic and 1 medium onion. Now I'm going to season this with a little garlic powder. All right, just a little garlic, half a teaspoon. You guys have me measuring now. I'm trying to be good. Okay, half a teaspoon onion powder all the way around. Okay, I don't know what that fork is doing there, but anyway. Okay, now I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of oregano. Just a little flavor. All right, so those 3 are done. That's done. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of garlic pepper. Whoops. All right, like so. That takes care of that. All right, now, what my thinking pattern was here is I've already turned this meat off. I'm going to turn it back on again. I don't think I need to do much with that anymore. So we're going to just toss that around a little bit, okay? Because that's all seasoned up. I'm going to put that to the side and turn this off. What I want to show you is this, my bowl with the potatoes that we seasoned up. I'm going to put a little bit of spinach over the potatoes. Now, you know, that's going to flatten down, and that's going to give us a nice flavor. So the spinach is gone. You're done. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to add the meat on top of the potatoes. All right, so we're going to just spoon that over it if I can. This frying pan is heavy, and I don't want to have a mess here. Okay, so all the ground meat now is going on the top. And this is well, we'll see how this all turns out. She didn't tell me to use the spinach and that, but I want to get some veggies in my life, and I think with the kids, it's a great deal, you know, it's a wonderful thing to get these kids, and this way they might not notice. If it tastes good, you know, that's half the battle. But if it's very obvious and they're choking on it, well, then that's not good. Okay, I'm going to tip this frying pan over, and I'm just going to, there we are. And that had the little garlic in there and a little onion, huh? Okay. Okay. Now, my next little thing here, where is my, here it is. I chopped some celery. I love my celery. I have a cup of celery, but I don't think I'm going to use a cup of celery. let's just go like this. Let's just see how it looks. See, I used to eyeball things. All right, two heaping, let's see. Two heaping, it went all the way around. Three heaping tablespoons of celery. How's that? Okay. If you don't want the celery, you don't have to put the celery. I mean, these are same thing like with the garlic, or if you did, you want to eliminate the spinach. Hey, that's okay too. This is a casserole. It's something that you can decide what you'd like to make. Now I'm going to add my tomatoes, my stewed tomatoes, okay, that I put in my blender. So I'm gonna, let's see, I want to make sure I've got this right. Yep, stewed tomato time. I did all that. Oh, I know what. Here it is. My red pepper. I forgot about my red pepper. So I'm gonna put, okay, let's measure. 1, 2, 3 cups of, I want to spread that around. I had a cup there. Okay. You know what? I used practically the whole cup of my red pepper. And I'm just going to throw it all down. Okay, cup of chopped red peppers. And they were red, and the orange ones, that you get in that little bag. So I'm going to move this back and bring my frying pan over. There you go. I'm going to now add some, let's see, Alyssy tomato paste, this concentrate. I love this stuff. All right, so here, I'd say a good teaspoon. No, maybe a tablespoon. I should have put it in my tablespoon to measure. So I'm going to add that to it, to my pan. And I do want to remember, because in this mix, so I've got it going. I've got this going. Someone once said, one of the chefs I watched some time ago, he said, don't just throw the paste in the, in the sauce like that. Let it emulsify or in the frying pan. Get it hot, okay? Get it hot. Now, I'm going to also add, I'm going to add some ketchup to this thing. Let me get this down here. All right, so here's, okay, 2 heaping tablespoons of ketchup. Okay, that's always I don't know, there's something good about that ketchup. See how we're getting that done there? I think I'm just going to put the rest of this in here. There's not much left of this ketchup. So, there we are. And now I'm going to put the stewed tomatoes in there. That's looking really sharp. It's looking good. I'm going to add the stewed tomatoes. Okay. Add my stewed tomatoes. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, huh? That's getting nice, real nice. Real nice. Bring that to a simmer. Okay, now I'm going to add, well, let's measure this here. Oh, here we go. I can do that. Wait just a minute here. I'm going to measure this off. It's a half a can. The stewed tomatoes, I put water in there. So what have I got? Yeah, half a cup exactly. I'm going to add the half a cup now of water to that. Okay. To that mixture. Bring that to a simmer. Okay. Now let's see. Bring that to a simmer. And I want to, let's do our taste test, okay? Let's do a taste test. This is going to be very mild kind of sauce, really. All right, so I'm going to do a little taste test. Ooh. Oh, that's got a nice flavor. That ketchup and that little bit of tomato paste and those wonderful stewed tomatoes, that just set it off perfectly. I'm going to turn my oven on now at 350 so that it's hot before we throw this all in here. Okay, so I'm going to bring the bowl back. I'm going to bring my bowl back. And it's really pretty with all those sauces on there. If I can bring this frying pan over. I'm going to pour this sauce over it. Oh, that looks really, that's what I wanted it to look like. And you know, this nice little casserole dish is handling all this. I didn't know how well I'd be able to get all my goodies in, but I'm not done yet, guys. I'm not done yet. I want to do one more thing. Now, I took some broccoli that let me push this back. See my broccoli? I took those flowerets and I broke them all up. And I'm going to put my broccoli on the top, like little flowers, all over my sauce. I'm just going to put that broccoli all around. That looks pretty. That looks like a garden over here or something. All right, I'm not going to waste this. I'm just putting it all on. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this. I'm going to quarter of a teaspoon. I don't want to overdo it with salt. We can always salt, right? We can always add salt. You can't take it out. So that was just a quarter of a teaspoon. All right, so that's just going to settle down in there. And now I'm going to add my peas. I'm going to put my peas. Plastic peas. Okay. And those were just frozen peas. Just frozen. Let's see, I think I'm all done with this layering. So now I'm going to cover this up. Okay, it'll sink down. It'll all sink down. There, I made it. I made it. So now I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. Okay, and then we'll see how that, and we'll plate that up and see how this worked out. The potatoes should be nice and soft, and our rice at the bottom, and the spinach, and we put all kinds of vegetables in here. So I'll see you back in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to check it at that time. Hi, I just pulled it out of the oven. It's wonderfully hot, and it's so delicious. And it looks like a garden, and it tastes so fresh. I'm going to show it to you. Just look at this now. Look at that. Looks so delightful. There's the potatoes, the ground meat, the rice, the broccoli, a little spinach over here by the potato. I don't know if you can see that. Little spinach, little peas, the forgotten vegetable. I love peas. The rice. Feed it, make it for your family. Make it for the kids. They're going to love this. I wanted you to see that, the colors. Isn't that lovely? Spinach, and look in the bowl here. Doesn't that look, it does so inviting. Make it for your family. Make it for the kids. What a wonderful Sunday afternoon meal that would be. A little salad and a glass of milk. Amen.